To talk about today. I am lazy, I procrastinate a lot, and I have a hard time getting things done. Now, it hasn't always been this way. I haven't always been lazy. It's happened a lot with things going wrong in my life, many times being beaten down by life. In some ways, you could say getting beaten down by life makes you stronger, but in other ways, you can say sometimes getting beaten down enough times makes you not want to even put effort in at all. I put a lot of effort into the way I looked, the way I talked, the way I acted around other people, trying to impress them and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I've gotten to the point I'm just lazy. I don't want to work. I don't want to eat healthy. I don't want to work out. And I was doing all those things in previous relationships of mine. I had jobs. I worked at multiple jobs. I worked out. I went to the gym. Unfortunately, that person was my gym partner. And when they left, it kind of got me away from going to that gym because I didn't want to see them. And it just, like, why even try? It's like, it's a lot easier to try when other people are pushing you, or other people are in your circle, and other people are cheering you on and whatnot. But it's a lot harder to try when you have to self-motivate yourself and self-push yourself. Like, for example, most days, I put off doing my laundry. Most days, I put off taking a shower. But yet, when it comes to some things like creative work, like posting YouTube videos, like making content, I can do it a lot more. I'm willing to put in more effort. But at the same time, it wasn't like it was when I was 20. When I was 20, I was way more motivated by these things. I wasn't beaten down by life as much. I wasn't beaten down so many times by relationships that went wrong. I wasn't beaten down by friendships where you tried and you tried and you tried and built friendships for years that would just fall and collapse. And you could never bring those friendships back again. And you would eventually make new friends, and that would eventually collapse. And eventually, over time, your mindset becomes almost jaded to the point where you just don't know what to do anymore. You're like, well, I've tried the jobs. I tried working at this job. I tried working at that job. And the other big thing on top of all this is there's certain limitations that I've had. By having a fucked up childhood where instead of focusing on school and studying hard, I started developing these bad habits quite young. And with lack of education comes lack of opportunity. With lack of opportunity, it's really hard to work. Now, I spent a lot of time, I used to gamble and play poker and thinking that's going to get me out of the rat race, so call it. And that's going to be the thing that makes me rich and successful and whatnot. But in reality, I had very bad self-control issues, and most of the time I'd end up losing all the money that I saved for 3 months, 6 months. I'd lose it all in one sitting. And you want to know what? The way that made me feel? That made me feel the worst I've ever felt in my life, losing everything. But you want to know the craziest thing? I didn't just do it once. I've probably done it 15 times in my life. So many times, not learning from the past and doing the same mistake over again. But you know one thing, over those times, eventually, I stopped feeling anything. Eventually, I stopped feeling the pain of losing it all. And I just realized, at the end of the day, it doesn't really even matter. So I kept saying, fuck it. And that's what I would do for so many years. Now, this affected future relationships, the gambling, losing all my money. For example, one of my better girlfriends, who I was with for probably 2 years, gave me a chance with some of her money. I was really into investing, but unfortunately, I did it in a very degenerate way. Now, luckily, I've gotten better at investing in a way that I don't lose money, in a way that I do it in a responsible way. But back then, I was irresponsible. And because of this, that person gave me a decent amount of money, and I lost pretty much all of it. And over time, I worked hard to pay her back, but the damage was already done. The trust was already broken. She put belief in me, and I failed her belief of me. And eventually, her respect for me went down. She thought I could do all these things, but I couldn't live up to all the dreams that I said I could do. I could not do. At some point when she left, I said, fuck it. I give up. For many months, I did nothing at all. Zero. I didn't start making these YouTube channel. I didn't start trying to be productive. And you know what? Making these videos makes me feel productive. It makes me feel good about myself. It makes me feel like I'm putting something out there that could impact somebody in the world. And to me, that is very important, to impact people in the world. And whether it's a crazy live stream that I do for a week and showing my degenerate lifestyle right now, it doesn't mean that degenerate lifestyle can't improve. But overall, I just don't know how. Like, how do I get out of this? I'm okay with being lazy and not doing anything. I'm okay with that life. It's a life that I've almost become used to. It's a life that gives me a lot of comfort. But there's always a darkness at the end of the tunnel that makes me think there could be better if I wasn't lazy, if I didn't procrastinate, if I just, for once, did the things I said I was going to do, instead of procrastinating around in circles, that I actually fucking go through with it. And this is something I wasn't able to prove to some really good people who are in my life, really amazing women. And that's not like a brag, I'm just, it's a compliment to these people. And I threw that away by not living up to their expectations, by saying I was going to do so many things and doing none of them. So I'm at the point in my life where I have to do these things, proving myself. I was trying so hard to prove others that I didn't realize I can do it myself. I can prove it to myself I can do this thing. I can prove it that I can do the thing that I say I'm going to do. And I'm not going to procrastinate, and I'm not going to waste on time on it, and I'm just going to fucking do it. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to live up to it. If I say I'm going to hit a rank in a fucking video game, I'm going to live up to it. If I say I'm going to hit 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, it'll happen. 5,000, 10,000, it could happen. But if I say I'm going to do it, then I need to fucking do it. And that is the point I'm at. Even though, yes, I'm lazy. Yes, I procrastinate. Yes, I don't get things done. But a lot of it, I have control over it. And a lot of the shit doesn't really matter that much. Putting off your laundry, whatever the fuck. It's not my goal to become the best laundry doer or whatever, not. You know? So, I know there might be other people out there that tend to be lazy and tend to procrastinate and tend not to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm definitely one of them a lot of days. But I think it's about proving to yourself that you can do it. It's not about proving to other people. And it doesn't even have to be a big thing. It can be a small thing, like proving to yourself, I want to learn how to play a Metallica song on guitar. You don't need to prove to yourself you'll become a professional musician or something. You don't need to prove yourself you'll be all these big things. Prove to yourself you can do the small things. Prove to yourself you can reach your small goals. But if you say you're going to do something, you need to prove to yourself you can do it, and not prove to somebody else you can do it. Because it isn't about the validation of somebody else thinking you can do it. It's about you just actually doing it for your own validation. your own validation is more important. Because when these people get taken away from you, when that amazing person that you had in your life gets taken away, ripped away from you, and you're left with nothing, and you can no longer rely on that, like a phone charge in the socket, you can no longer rely on it to get you the power. You need to generate the power to your phone through yourself. You need to generate it yourself. Now, I know this rant went off into some weird directions, and I apologize for that. And yes, I'm in a dark room right now. I have a weird sleep schedule. Plus, I'm doing my weird 24-hour stream thing. But maybe you guys have some input about the things I said. Some people, a small percentage of people will make it to the end of this video. A very small percentage. If this video hits 1,000 views, let's say, maybe 100 of you might make it to the end. That's just the way it is. But if you have any thoughts, leave them down below. Let me know what you think about this. Laziness, procrastination, not getting things done, looking for the approval of others, and saying you're going to do things and not living up to them. That's a big one. I think we have to do it for our own validation and not for other people's validation. Alright guys, thank you for watching the video. If you watch this, I don't know. I appreciate you guys. I know some of you guys watch my other video. Hope you have a good day, night, whatever it is. Peace. Much love.